Hey everyone, it's Todd.
And I'm Jeff.
We're two lifelong friends who decided we want to make a movie together, and I wanted to let everyone know we're actually starting a podcast as well that's going to tell all about the struggles and the triumphs and the lessons that we've learned along the way during the movie making process.
From writing the script to finding the cast to shooting the scenes and to editing the final product, you, the listener, will have behind-the-scenes access.
Plus, along the way, we'll be interviewing industry professionals to get their take on the whole process as well. So if you've ever wanted to make a movie on your own, this new podcast is for you. Make sure to head out to your favorite podcasting delivery service and look for Jeff and Todd Make a Movie and hit the follow button. On today's Men of the Apes, we'd get going with this if Sean would come to on. Hello and welcome to Men of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. I am Todd. Sitting silently across from me is Richard. And do you know what the term polyrhythmic is, Sean?
I believe so, yeah. Where you can do different beats.
That's kind of it. Yeah, you actually you coughed a little bit during the intro, and so polyrhythmic would mean that it would be 4 beats against 3, which, and I'll do it. This is what it would sound like. I don't know if you can hear my tabbing. You did a polyrhythmic cough against that thing. It was like, and I was like, oh, look at that. Sean not even intending to, but there he is, my polyrhythmic friend. How are we on this Wednesday hump day of credits?
So close to the end.
We're doing all right.
Yes.
We're doing okay. So today we're going to listen to the minute. We will talk about who we see, and then we're going to talk about why no sequel as best we can put together.
All right.
Is that fair for everybody?
Let's do it.
All right, here it comes, minute 118. Sean, go ahead.
We got minute 118 with Co Supervisor Tom Hutchinson and ends with Construction Medic Deborah Sullivan.
All right, here it comes, 118. We're rolling. We still got our dance beat. So we have the Rebel Unit Supervisor. I'm
I
glad
love that. Made me think of Star Wars.
Me too.
Saw that.
Since we only have...
What is a Rebel Unit artist?
2 minutes.
What's the name of the company?
Since we only have 2 minutes left, this funky music's going to last the whole time.
Yeah.
Animatic
What's
artist?
an animatic artist?
Model makers.
They do the pre-production stuff. The show
Previs,
basically.
Nowadays, it's all computer, but back then it would have been hand-drawn mostly.
They've only got 2 people for technical support.
Only 2 senior
Digital paint supervisor. Nowadays, that would be like a gang of people.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's a gang of people.
I love that. The Rhythm and Hughes studio. Did you see that? That was a great name.
Inferno artist.
That's a pretty famous production facility.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
Rhythm and Hughes.
Rhythm and Hughes.
Yeah.
Pacific Title and Art Studio.
Such a
Animals. Hey,
Birds and Animals Unlimited.
The horse
That was the
wranglers,
end of
there
it.
we go. We got some horse
Okay, so
wranglers
let's. We went through that minute. We got our dance, our
All right,
rave.
so real quick, think about what besides horses, what other animals? Wait, the chimps. There was the chimps in the beginning,
And there might have
the
been birds in
the
somewhere too,
orangutans
and
at the
they probably
beginning.
had to do that
Yeah.
too.
All right.
There's a little bit. So as I look at this site, that gives me a little bit of
Why it didn't have the sequel.
why it didn't happen. It begins with that the film did gangbuster business in its first couple of weekends, but then quickly dove off. That its returns didn't have that sustained, not growth, but that sustained percentage that says, here's the algorithm that says we're successful.
Right.
And where did that come from? And the audiences, it was a financial success, didn't impress the films because it was absent the themes and dramatic changes to the story. And then in a large way, they felt disassociated from it. That began with the twist ending. Even Tim Roth came out saying, I couldn't understand that ending. I've seen it twice and I don't understand anything. Tim Roth was like,
We'll talk about people shitting on your own work, but I mean, and not you're not wanting to work with those same people again. I mean,
Well,
I
are
wouldn't
you
have
ready
said
for
that.
this? Because the guy went on to marry her, Helena Bonham Carter, who played Ari, said, I thought it made sense. Kind of. I don't understand why everybody went, it's all a time warp thing. He's gone back and he realizes they's beat him. Okay. Yeah, but no.
But that's just like saying, all right, at the end of Star Wars, after Luke Skywalker blows up the Death Star, Vader just is hanging out with the rebels now, saying, "Good job, son."
Yeah.
What? No, there's no impetus to do any of that. There's no reason to. You set nothing up just to say, okay, because it's time travel.
Yeah, and I think that ends up being why was there no sequel? Box office trailed off. When excitement died down, other things happened. People didn't stay with it. It didn't continue to. That's an impressive 4-to-1 return. If I made a film that was I had $2.5 million budget and I made $10 billion, then everybody's made money and everybody's happy because it's a small investment. But when it's $100 million, it gets 400 with hidden cost of marketing and all that kind of thing. That's not the same. And I don't think that. So you've got diminishing returns, confusion on the ending. Nobody feels compelled. There's not a cliffhanger. It's not, hey, Luke, I'm your father, and you have to go find your friend in carbonite. That's at least I want to find out. Is there anything that anybody wants to find out in the end of this film?
Why the fuck they wrote that ending?
I'm not worried about Leo. I think it's just a shitty turn for him. He ended up in ape hell.
Well, now he's not in the middle of a weird jungle, desert planet with swamps. At least he's in an environment he can understand.
This came up in when we were talking about when this was released, and 6 weeks ish after this moment was September 11th of 2001, so 9/11.
6 weeks after?
This was July.
Oh, okay.
This released July 27th, and it was September 11th when the
You're right.
when the Twin Towers fell. So I wonder if tonally things had changed in art at that time as well that would have made this unattractive to revisit.
Yeah, you think about that.
Don't know what the impact. I'd have to. It's weird. Would like to go back and kind of see. Pay attention to what was happening in charts and media at the time and see what was being produced 6 months to a year later,
Well,
2
you
years
think
later.
about Battlestar Galactica its retelling of that came shortly after 9/11 when Ronald D. Moore was given that. And he'd been given that property around that time, but then that happened. He thought, wow, we can tell that story. And I wonder, to that point, if they looked at this and thought, this is irrelevant now.
Right.
This has nothing to do with where the world is, because so much of art was reflective of that for quite a while.
When you do something that has either more impact or something that has or is good escapism,
But couldn't you find something about the feeling of your safety torn away? Because I think that's I think that's one of the common themes we felt with 9/11 was we felt this serenity that we're in this isolated country that is surrounded by water and no one can get to us. And then suddenly somebody did it.
Because we never had a foreign attack on our land.
And you would think maybe that could be the theme that you touched on with Leo. But then again, when it's only a 4-to-1 return on a $100 million budget, there's not enough to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come down to money. It has to. Which is sad, but it is.
But I mean,
show business?
Who do you go back and revisit? You've dumped all your characters.
Yeah, they're all
That's true.
The only thing you do is because somehow Thade has beaten Leo to Earth in the past, somehow maybe Ari has left a message in the past that Leo is going to get, and maybe Pericles somehow has descendants that he's been told about Leo. I don't know.
They found a way to escape by having them just kind of magically go back in time.
Okay, that's a good point.
Right, they found a way to escape to bring them back, and then but. The Planet of the Apes film here would either have to follow Leo's path without the characters on the first film,
we're not going to see any of them because
or find out how this world transformed, which Leo would not be a part of.
To that point, do you think there was any of we're kind of doing a little bit of escape here, where we're letting a little time warp happen and he goes back in time?
I don't think they were
jumping for that.
I don't think they were thinking about that.
No, I don't think he was thinking that hard.
I think they were just trying to do another twist.
And I think
so I'm being too kind.
I think the idea of excuse that it's a time travel movie was just something they were trying to say to get people to get off their backs. I don't think they really thought this was a time travel movie.
And if they did, they don't know what time travel movies are.
Because
Right.
it was not set up as a time travel because the only time travel was him going forward in the future.
And we didn't know about that till the very, very end.
Yeah.
And then him going back to the past also at the very, very end. Time travel movie would have established these weird parameters and norms from the beginning, and they didn't.
And also it would have set up that Pericles would have shown up first. I mean, because Davidson shows up second. I mean, it's so sloppy with time travel. It's just basically they're saying it's like a little kid going, and then this happened, and then you went in the past, and then this guy went in the past too, but he came out before you, but then the other guy came, and then he went into the past and went backwards instead.
Even in Planet, we saw the spinning at the beginning, at the very, very beginning, though every instruments going crazy, right, as a tease to what was actually happening. This one didn't give us any of that until the last part of the film.
You think about, again, good time travel films, Back to the Future. And please, if there are more, tell me. But I time after time, that Malcolm McDowell thing where he goes back and it's Jack the Ripper Falls. That's a great movie.
That was a good
That's
movie.
a lot of
I wanna
fun.
go back and watch that again,
Somewhere in Time is schmaltzy, but its time travel makes sense.
Yes.
Don't look at that dime.
And it also uses time travel to break your heart. It uses it as, if you take time from the equation, just love survive. It's a cheesy thing, but at the same time, it's beautiful. This one, you can't make a time travel film if you've not established any discussion about
rules.
time.
Yeah.
Time has to be that ongoing metaphor for it of what is time, what does it mean to the moment, all those kind of things. It's such a grab to make this a time travel movie.
It's not a time travel movie. It's a movie that happened to have time travel in as a element of it. It's not a time travel movie.
Because the only mentions of time are when Leo needs to get somewhere in, was it 18 hours?
He's got a day and a half.
Yeah.
There's 36 hours.
36 hours. I knew it was some arbitrary number like that. That's the only mention of time. I don't think we see that with the Pericles stuff at the top.
No.
The Earth is not running out of time with the cloud that's making weird shit happen.
There's not even any real meaning when you look at like the Seamus and the Kalima stuff. Like at least with Star Trek the movie, a V'ger had a reference to something that would make sense for it.
That was Voyager, yeah.
Right. Kalima didn't really mean anything much. Caution live animals. I mean,
sounds
maybe.
more like a sexual act.
Seamus didn't really have any meaning either. Like it just didn't have any impact.
There was one thing I read with the production designer that they were baffled by the end too, because the way that they understood it was the whole thing at the Oberon was supposed to be evocative of the Statue of Liberty. That was supposed to be the moment, and that's why.
That's why it's supposed to be this torch?
They said that's why they changed it. Originally, it was supposed to be more of a city, but they changed it for the spires to look like the torch off that, and that was intentional because they thought that was it. And then they felt as though the time travel thing was added on. They would not say that directly because I'm sure they don't want Tim Burton going "fuck you."
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I mean, it could be.
I think everybody felt like this was tacked on.
Yeah, we need an ending.
Yeah.
When your actor can't even, okay, Tim Roth doesn't have to be in that scene, but when he shows up and goes, what? How the fuck did I end up out of the plastic bubble? And
Watch it a couple of times. I still can't figure it out.
yeah. All right. That is it. That is minute 118. We got 2 more minutes of this, boys, and we can move on. So we know that the last episode we want to talk a bit about where do we think it's going and kind of tease the next film, what we know at development. Tomorrow, why don't we talk about how it has been perceived ongoing in pop culture? There's a little bit of data that can show us that as far as things. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.